Okay, so while we only normally do a sales video on a Saturday, this huge Nintendo spring sale, it was just too much to ignore. With a serious concern as well about how I was going to get all of these amazing games squeezed into one list of 10, I decided, you know what, let's do something different. So here's a little spring sale special for you. 10 amazing spring sale Switch games for under $10 or £8 or €9. Yeah, it's kind of tough to make a good title for a video with multiple currencies. Anyways, let's quickfire through these 10 games that are just stunning examples of why we love the Switch eShop so much. If you bought every game on this list today, it would cost you just $68, slightly more than the price of one AAA game. And if I say so myself, some of these are better than a lot of AAA games out there. That's pretty amazing. Anyways, hit subscribe and let's get this started. So first up, Golf Story. If you don't own this already, what are you thinking? Yes, golf is in the name, it might put many of you off, but don't let it. It's an insane RPG where the story plays out over 8 courses as you're chasing your dreams, and who doesn't love an underdog story? An incredibly unique experience though, beautiful visuals, a seriously funny story, some amazing characters in here, and then some of the best pixel art to grace the Nintendo Switch in our opinion so far. It's also perfect timing, I've got to say, with a sequel scheduled for release later this year. For me, I've got to say this is a classic, and with 50% off it's more than worth it. So Ape Out, it was one of my top indie games of 2019, and you can actually check that video out over on the channel right now. But this one, I'll say the experience, yes, it might be short, but it's one hell of a ride, and there's nothing else that's quite like it. Playing the title Escaped Ape, in what appears to be some sort of like scientific lab, you're out of your cage and you need to make your way to the exit. Of course, it's not as simple as just, walking to a door though. Here you can expect tons of enemies. Fortunately, to match them, there's tons of gore, quick and super fluid controls, low detail but super unique visuals, and a jazz-like soundtrack that just pumps up this entire experience and actually matches what you're doing on screen. There's actually specific sounds matched to your attacks. I'm pretty confident as well saying it's one of the best soundtracks available on any Switch game out there, maybe except for like Cuphead, but it's to that level of soundtrack goodness. This was too cheap in my opinion already on the eShop, and now at 50% discount, take my money immediately. So Broforce, a cheaper one on today's list with a huge 75% off. It's dumb, it's shallow, but again, a ton of fun. Ever wanted to see Braveheart, the Terminator, RoboCop, Rambo all team up and just like fuck shit up together? Well, if you like that idea, ladies and gentlemen, this is the game for you. A 2D side-scrolling shooter, which in parts kind of reminds me of Mercenary Kings, where you're looking for hostages, but with a whole lot more gore. This one's got a ton of enemies, and they pretty much all are willing to explode on screen. Well, that sounds really weird. With your character though, expect loads of weapons, loads of different scenery, and destructible environments to boot. This one is just a manic experience, and I really do recommend it at such a deep discount. So if ever there was a game on the Switch that I would consider art comes to life, Gris would be one of the first that comes to mind. This one, it's a huge accomplishment just on so many levels. Yes, of course, graphically, you can see it for yourself how stunning it looks, but then throw on top of that an amazing soundtrack that just embodies this stylistic nature, the gameplay that gives a whole lot of freedom to you, the player. Yeah, it's not high-octane action for sure. You can't die or fail or anything like that. This is about kind of just embracing what is around you and navigating some very simple but highly entertaining puzzles. 50% off though for what I would say is actually a masterpiece is again absolutely worth it. So The Messenger, it takes the 2D classics of yesteryear, namely Ninja Gaiden, and very much modernizes them while still paying homage to them with its visuals. You can see that here, and it's absolutely stunning, I'll say that outright. As games go though, this one, it's likely to challenge the very best out there. This is not scared to make you work your ass off and expect to die over and over again. This is not for someone looking for something on the relaxed side, I'll say that now. A fantastic campaign though, a soundtrack that I've personally picked up on vinyl, and just as I said, punishing enemies. Make it one of the top games on the Nintendo Switch if you don't mind a little repetition. It even got a special reserve limited run on physical, and here 50% off people, bargain. Sebastian, if you haven't played Bastion, I don't know what you're doing, but grab it now at an insane 80% off. This one, it's an action role-playing experience that very few can stand up to. A beautiful hand-painted style that gives this one such character. It's got a very unique personality. Challenging gameplay throughout though, a great world to explore, and tons just to learn and customize and embed yourself into. I've played this one a couple of times. I feel like I still haven't, revealed everything the game has to offer me, and I knew immediately as soon as I finished that second run, I'd be going back for a third one very soon. Transistor is in some ways very similar to Bastion, an action RPG focus, a stunning isometric world, and to be honest this all makes sense because it's from the same creators, and they have been for sure generous with us, giving us 2 amazing games in this sale. Switching out though the hand-painted style for the futuristic, the cyberpunk, it's one of the most clean looking games on the Nintendo Switch, where the visuals for me just immediately sell the world. Now the controls and the gameplay, I will say it took me a little while to get used to. It's definitely a bit more on the unique side when it comes to, that player control scheme. But spend like 20-30 minutes in this world and you'll have the controls down and you won't be able to resist its charm or digging deeper and deeper into its storyline. 80% off, another amazing deal you should not resist. So Don't Starve Nintendo Switch Edition. The first thing you'll notice here, I'm pretty sure, are going to be the weird but stunning graphics. It just oozes style. But you know what will make you remember this one? The absolutely punishing difficulty, which honestly at times approaches like entry-level sadistic, I'd say. For me though, that's what made this just so addictive, a never-ending quest for survival. How long will you last? What can you survive against? How many times can you die in one single play? All questions I frequently asked myself, and I kept on asking myself because I kept on returning. You'll be coming back because there's just so much here to experience. Every time you load up the game, it's randomly generated levels, so it always feels, at least a little bit fresh, even if the gameplay gets a tiny bit repetitive. Even then as well, with this package, get fed up with the core experience, and don't worry, this one's packing 2 huge expansion passes. Not bad when you factor in 70% off. So the next one for you, I haven't actually played myself. This is my pickup so far from the sale. The Swords of Diton Mormo's Curse. With a visual style that just immediately appealed to me personally. It's like cartoon-like stylings. I just couldn't resist. I searched it online and I saw roguelike and Zelda-like immediately in comments, and yeah, that was enough for me. Well, I can't give a solid recommendation because I played like 15 minutes so far. Maybe those 2 incredibly strong descriptors will be enough for you like me. Plus I gotta say, it's Devolver Digital who just never seem to disappoint. With a back catalogue like they have, it's worth taking a risk. Also, I like low price risks like this one, 30% off. It's not a huge discount, I'll say that, but a publisher I respect, and they're one I always want to support for giving me some of my favourite yet Switch experiences. Count me in for this little adventure title. So last up today, Mark of the Ninja Remastered. From the same developers of Don't Starve, we get something entirely different. This, it takes 2D platforming and attaches it to stealth gameplay. And I mean, it has ninja in the name. If you're like me, just seeing ninja and not that ninja, the word ninja, it's enough to earn your cash. Growing up on games like Ninja Gaiden, it gave me this sickness where if a game has a ninja in it, I'll buy it, and I'll be honest, it doesn't always lead to great games, I'll say that much. This one though, genius. I originally played it on Xbox like 5 or so years back when it first released, and this remaster, it's the definitive way to play. Great story, tough but fair gameplay, a soundtrack that I really do love. It's rare I would say it, but to me this game is nearly perfect in every single way and achieves this at pretty much the very highest level across the board. 50% off is a steal for something that's so well loved. Let me know what you think. What games will you be picking up in this sale? Is there any other great deals I missed that deserve maybe some love and attention? Maybe I haven't played them myself yet. Expect my usual sale video on Saturday. Watch out for a ton of reviews dropping in the next few days as well. We've been working on so many games these last few days. And then finally, hit subscribe. If we helped you out, consider joining the family. We'll see you all on the next video.